Friends, today in this video, I'm going to teach you about how to do two-step algebra problems. In the last math class, we talked about how to do substitution, and we talked about how to solve one-step algebra equations. But today, we're going to be dealing with algebra problems that require you to do two steps. So you're always going to have to do the method before that you learned before. So in the two-step method, you're going to learn one new step, but then we're going to go back to doing the one-step algebra after we've done the first step. You'll see what I mean when I do it on the board, because that sounds a little bit confusing. So anyways, one thing I want you to remember before I write anything down is that when you're solving two-step algebra, you're going to want to solve, you're going to want to remove the constant term before you try to do anything with the coefficient. Okay, so let me head over to the whiteboard and I'll get you guys to write down the title, Two-Step Algebra, on the top of your page here. So two-step algebra. And let me erase that 1 and that 4 because that's just confusing. So you've got the title, the same title as me, two-step algebra. Okay, so as you know, in one-step algebra, what we want to do is we want to identify what type of operation, so that's addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. We want to identify what kind of operation is attaching a number to a variable. So in this case, the operation that's attaching the variable x to the number 4 is addition. That is the type of operation. So once we've identified that, what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the constant term in this one-step algebra. And we're going to do that by subtracting, which is the opposite of addition. We're going to subtract the number 4 on both sides. So when we do that, it crosses this out because 4 minus 4 is 0, and it makes it x. So x is now isolated. And then we're going to go 6 minus 4. 6 minus 4 is 2. So we can say that x plus 4 is 6. And if x is 2, 2 plus 4 equals 6. So that's what one-step algebra looks like. Now two-step algebra, just like the name implies, is going to require you to do two steps. Two-step algebra. Okay, so this is review that we just did here. So two-step algebra, the type of problem that you're going to see would be something like this. 4x plus 1 equals 17. Now I've chosen some nice easy numbers for us to get started with. So what we're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to solve this problem. Now, like I said before, it is important that you solve the constant term. You erase those before you deal with the coefficient. So dealing with the constant term, which is the 1, is the first step. So what we're going to do is we're going to identify this as a plus. So we're going to subtract. We're going to do the opposite to both sides. We're going to subtract 1 from both sides. So when we do that, now our problem is just 4x equals 16. Now that we have an equation with a 4 and an x that are next to each other, a coefficient and a variable, and then a number on the other side of the equation, now we can do one-step algebra to solve this equation. So on this side of the equation, on the left side of this equation, we've got 4x. Now 4x is the same as 4 times x. So because it's 4 times x, we're going to divide both sides by 4. When we divide both sides by 4, 4 over 4 is the same as 1 whole. So that becomes x. And 16 over 4 is an improper fraction that when simplified is 4. So if we use substitution now to check our work, we can find that x is 4. Now we're going to use substitution. We can say that 4 times 4 plus 1 is equal to 17. And since this is true, 4 times 4 is 16, plus 1 is 17, then we know that we have done this correctly. Let's try another one, another two-step algebra problem. Okay, example number 2. Let's say our problem is 3, that's a funny 3, x plus 1x plus 3 is equal to 11. So the first thing we're going to do in this situation is we're going to combine the like terms. So this is a like term, 3x and 1x. Those are like terms because they're both x's, they're both talking about the same thing. We don't know what it is yet, but we're going to combine them. So 3x plus 1x is 4x. 4x's. And we're going to continue to write the equation. We're not going to change anything when we combine our like terms. So now we can do two-step algebra to solve this problem. 4x plus 3 equals 11. So this is showing addition. So we're going to do the opposite to this constant term on both sides of the equation. And we're going to rewrite this. We're going to cross that out. 4x equals 11 minus 3, which is 8. Now we're going to do one-step algebra to solve this equation. We're going to divide both sides by 4. And that's going to make that 1x, because 4 over 4 is the same as 1. And x is equal to 2. We can use substitution to check our work. 3 times 2 plus 1 times 2 plus 3 is equal to 11. 6 plus 2 plus 3 is equal to 11. 11 is equal to 11. So because our substitution worked, because when we checked our work to make sure it was good, it worked, then we know that we have solved this problem correctly. Okay, so that is how you do two-step algebra. You got to follow these steps. It gets a little bit more tricky when you have to divide, but the best way to learn is to practice. Okay, and let me know if you have any questions. Bye.